Alright guys, today we are putting together a trampoline. It's a Propel Trampoline, something you can get from Sam's Club, a couple $100, 14-footer. Obviously all the springs that are necessary. These are the rods that hold up the safety net. This is the spring pad that goes around the outside. The mat and the net. And obviously the frame. So step one was putting the frame together. And you have 6 of these little sections here, which consist of the pole here, the down pole here, and the pole on top that connect into these little T-brackets. You'll have 6 of those. And then these extensions in between. 6 of those as well. Obviously keeping your spring holes up. Just basically assembly of that. Best to probably have somebody help you just to kind of balance. But that's step 1. Step 2, we're going to be actually attaching the mat to the frame. Alright, to get prepped here for the mat, I've laid the mat down inside the corral here. Laid the net down on top. It's important to make sure it's facing upright. The label should be facing up. Now, first step of installing the mat, I'm going to take one of these springs. So you kind of have this tighter end, more of a looser end here. What they want you to do is hook in your one side here, hook down, and then from there, what they want us to do is start on the right side of that T-bar, plug it in right there. What we're going to do is we got to count off the amount of rivets to make sure we're in the right spot, and we're going to put it on this next one here, and it's about 9 spots. So every 9 spot we'll do that. I'm going to go all the way around and get that one spring in each of these sections put on first. Now step 2 is we need to integrate the net. What it wants us to do is we're now going to put a spring on the left side of the T-bar, but we're going to include the net in it. When we tie it in here, we'll also be tying in the part of the net too for safety. So again, figure out where you want your opening to be. I want it to be right here, which is going to be right in between 2 of the safety bars. So we'll go right there. Now again, we want to go in this situation. We're going to go through the net first. You can see that hole already there. So we're going to go in through that hole first, then through our loop, and then we're going to pull this here to connect it in there. So that's step 2, and what we're going to do now is go through each section to the left. Along the way though, you want to make sure you're stretching out your net, because you don't want any gaps to be in your net. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around the left side, installing the net. Okay, so now we put the spring to the left side of all the different sections here, so you can see that. But if you notice, because we put the right on first, it's not attached to the net. That's all right, because that's our next step. So you can see that. And the reason we're doing this, what we're going to have to be doing is going in sections, and that's supposed to help with the tension. Okay, now, next step is, now we got to take the one off on the right side and attach the net. So, a couple different ways we can do that. Let me show you some stuff here. Alright, to take out, you can actually use the tool that it comes with. It's this little hook tool. what you're going to do is just go on the right on the inside of there. You're going to pull towards. Unhatch it that way. So that's one way to do it. Another way, in case you don't have this tool, you can always use a set of pliers. Same thing, grab a hold. This one's a little bit more tough here, as you can see. So, as you can see, it's a little bit tougher to do. I'm sure you can use one of these guys too, up and under and pull it out, but that's crazy. I'm not even messing with that. The last way, and I learned this watching some YouTube videos, and the easiest, take one of the springs. You got your short hook side. I'm sorry, your long hook side's actually probably better. Stick it in right here, and this outside, pull, right off. Look at that. Very easy. So what I'm going to be doing on this next step, adding in the net and connecting these back on. Oops, don't make that mistake. That was the long end. You want the short end going on the net. And just a little pull there, boom, snap that in. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach those on all the right sides. Alright, so now all of our right sides have been intertwined with the net. So now the next step is really important, supposedly. But what we need to do is they want you to put the next spring on through the net, through the mat, connect to the frame, and you do one, and the next one would go to the next section. To the right, you do two, next section, 3, and keep going around until you fill it all in. So you'll see this good on the time-lapse video that I have, but you'll see me circling around this trampoline a bunch of times to plug all those in. Cool? Alright, two things I'm noticing as I'm putting these springs on here. See, now me, I bought this one. It was used, I had to break it down. You can see how these metal clamps hang on to the mat of the trampoline. And it looks like they're kind of getting bunched up. They got this way, so they were hanging on like that. So what I'm trying to do, when all possible, is kind of like mess with that a little bit. So that when I hook it up, it's for the most part staying good there. Another thing too, as I'm going, it's getting a little tougher to pull to get those on. So another quick tip here, take your hook, kind of like how we used it to take it out, right? And we're just gonna pull that boy right in there. So that's just another way you can help attach these. All right, we're getting there. Just keep going to the right until we fill them all in. All right, as we're going here, it's starting to get a little tight. So I'm using this tool. Again, you can use a spring. I threw some gloves on too because this is taking a while. So. Boom, that's it. All right, 2 more in each section. Okay, so all I did there was I just laid the padding around the outside. Now what's important is you have these holes where the pole goes for the net. So you just got to make sure when you're lining it up that those all line up. Now one thing about the mat that's really cool, and I was worried about when I was buying a trampoline, is how it connects. What you do is you look under here, you go, boom. You find this little sleeve, and so all we need to do is detach the one spring, feed it through, and connect it there. And then that'll hang on to there, and there's one of those little red sleeves every couple of feet. So just spring those in. Why I say that's awesome, if you can get a trampoline with these sleeve type of connections. The other type is a tie, and those ties you normally do like a knot, and then if you ever have to take it down when it gets cold and wet, it's a pain in the butt. So if you can get the ones with the sleeves, do that. So now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna connect the mat with these loops through the spring. All right, the pad's been secured. Now I need to attach these safety bars for the net. So what I did is I laid all 6 of them out next to their corresponding hole. Don't lose the bolt and screw. Those attach after you've connected everything. Now what we want to do is work our way from the inside. Now at the top of the net there was these sections where we connected this little eye bolt. You want to make sure that the bow is on the outside. So we got that bow going on the outside. We're going to take our nut. Connect those. So that'll be on there. So we need to do that. Going all the way around, connecting all the pull tops. And then after we do that, we will stand them up and stick them into the pull. All right, we'll see how that looks. All right, so we got the posts up. Our label, our zipper here. That's good. So the last thing we have to do, if you remember those bolts I was telling you about, what you're gonna do is come up underneath here, put your bolt in right there, and that's gonna secure your poles for your safety net. And that's it. We're done. How to assemble a trampoline.